Good day viewers, welcome to Vayo's Kitchen channel. Today I want to teach you how to make a sharp edge with my colorful cake. For those of you that have not watched the colorful cake, please click on the link below in my description box and watch it. Now to start with, I am going to be mixing together my butter and my powdered sugar, which is popularly known as icing sugar. I have 500 grams of powdered sugar and 500 grams of of butter. So just cream it until it's light and fluffy. Now this is going to be used for the stacking of the cake, for the in-between layers, and for the covering of the cakes. So continue to whip until light and fluffy. Now start by placing your first cake, applying the butter, and then placing the other. Repeat the same method until all is placed. And next, begin to trim. You start from 3/4 side of the cake up and then go down, trimming round the cakes, and after that you flip over by bringing the up down and taking the down up. Continue to trim until your cake is straight. And then after this, flip over and trim the remaining part of the cake. Then after that, you use your serrated knife and still go around the cake. Flip over and do that. Continue until you have a straight cake. Remember to watch how I made this cake in my description box by clicking the link there. Now the cake is ready for covering. Now the next, you apply your buttercream, but instead of this buttercream, I would prefer to make a crumb buttercream by crumb coating the cake. So first you mix your crumbs with the butter. The crumbs that you got from the cake while trimming, mix it from the butter, and then make sure you use your wooden spatula. Stir until it's thick, and then start applying. Apply until every part of the cake is covered, and then use your scraper to go around. Now the 10 inches cake is ready for fondant covering. Now we'll start with the 6 inches cakes. Remember I said there are 3. The 10 inches are 4 and the 6 inches cakes are 3. Repeat the same method that you did with the 10 inches cake. Using your buttercream as separator to cover each and every one of them. Then you begin to trim. First of all, level the cake and then start with the sides, going 1/3 from up down. Flip over again and trim the remaining part down. You continue doing this until the cake is very straight. Remember, if your cake is shaking, you can use your skewer or your dowel rod to hold it firm, so it will not be leaving one another. Now use a serrated knife and go around to ensure that your cake is straight and well trimmed. Now apply a butter and flip it over using your 6 inches cake board and begin to crumb coat the cake. Just the same way you did the 10 inches, apply every part, use your scraper and smoothen everything out. Please subscribe if you are a new person in my channel, and give me a thumb up if at the end of this you love this video. And if you have any question or any confusion pertaining this video, just drop your question in my comment box and I will answer every question you ask me there. Now continue with your smoother until you go round and smoothen the cake. You can see the cake is now smooth, straight, and everything is lying on the body of the cake smoothly. Now roll out your fondant. I have already showed you how to make fondant. Also check out my description box. You will see the link there. Roll out your fondant. Now using your rolling pin, roll it and then apply it on your cake. Clean up every part that is not okay, that is any crumb that is on the board, so that if there is any excess, the fondant will not grab it. Now start by holding down the top part of the fondant to avoid tearing. Then using your smoother, as you open it and stretch it, you use your smoother and bring it down. Note, this is my first covering. I'm going to do double covering on this cake, but this is my first covering, so I'm not using a very thick fondant. I rolled it a little bit thin because I know that another fondant is coming upon this. So next, you push out the mouth, the edges of the fondant, the top side of the cake. This is to make sure that everything is well lined and that the fondant is straight, so that by the time you flip over the cake, it will be easier for you to create your sharp edge without obstruction. Next, sprinkle some icing sugar on top of your cake and then flip it over. Another thing, start using your smoother, but if you notice the smoother is gumming, just apply another kind of icing sugar on the body of the cake before working with your smoother. Bring down every part that is shaded. Bring down your fondant to the parts that are shaded and then trim with your palette knife, making sure you place it straight from the body of the cake to the downside of the board. Make sure you don't cut in, else the mouth will not be straight. Next, you trim the excess from the bottom and then flip it over back to how it's supposed to be. Now cut everything out before flipping. If you don't do that, by the time you flip it, It will make the fondant, they will not be straight on the board. Now you can see round, then flip over again, and our sharp edge is ready. Allow this to stay for like 2 to 3 hours before you do your second covering. Now roll out your blue fondant. Remember, I use white because it will be better when you cut your cake. Colors will not stain it. And since the color I'm going to be using is white, I had to prefer using blue. I had to prefer using white to do my first coating before their main color. So now I cover with my blue. I begin to walk down the fondant to the bottom until everything is completely covered. For the sharp edge, I flip over and repeated the same thing I did with the white fondant until everything is well aligned. Now do this and then cut off the excesses. Also flip over and walk until you achieve your sharp edge, following what I am doing right here now. Now continue working to cover every shadow that appears under the fondant, under the cake, and then trim off the excesses. Now working around it by using your smoother, trimming off the excesses, and then working again with your two smoothers to make sure everything is well lapped on the board. Flip over and your sharp edge is ready. Now clean off everything that is not supposed to be there, and the cake is ready for decoration. You are going to be watching my next video to see how I decorated the cake. Meanwhile, here is the picture of the decorated cake.